How's it going, YouTube? Oxa here, and welcome back. So today's gonna be a more discussion type of video. Something I think is important and attention should be brought to. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's exciting. Exciting and concerning as well. So what am I talking about? Well, of course, just recently, November 15th was the 20th anniversary of Xbox, as a brand, as a competitor in the console market. And they announced that over 70 games in total are being added to backwards compatibility. And hey, just some highlights that I recommend you should check out. They added the entire F.E.A.R franchise, so 1, 2, 3, and F.E.A.R Files, which is the expansion to the first game on PC, which of course was made into its own little side game. But yeah, the whole F.E.A.R franchise. You got Manhunt, yeah, Rockstar's Manhunt, backwards compatible. Another big one, Quake Arena Arcade, Quake 3 goodness, the pinnacle of movement, just arena shooters is backwards compatible. And finally, of course, I take full credit, Atagi 1 and 2 finally are backwards compatible. Yeah, those are just my recommendations out of the 70. And again, there's way more that got added. But what I wanted to address is that with that announcement, after adding all those games, they have confirmed they are ending the backwards compatible program, if you want to call it that. And yeah, I guess that's just what I wanted to touch on is how do you guys feel about that, hey, give credit where credit is due. Xbox has really done a great job of supporting legacy titles and I guess keep preservation. There we go. That's the word. Preserving gaming as a medium, right? As an art form. And they've done a great job. And look, gotta keep it 100. Nintendo and PlayStation, they ain't doing jack shit when it comes to that. But I was sad to hear that they're ending it. It's don't get me wrong, it's a hard thing to do because as a fan, right, as a casual gamer, you might just think, oh well, the new consoles are definitely powerful enough to play them, but that's not the issue. You have to remember there's rights issues. Some these games, I could use Atagi for example. They're made by From Software, so From Software is owned by the Kadokawa Corporation, which if you go back to my earlier videos, they own Gamera as well. It all ties back. But yeah, so think they have to go to them to get permission. It was published by Sega, so Sega has the final say if it'll go in or not. And you get the idea. They have to get the rights to these things. And damn, that just brings up the question, so does this run out? In 5 or 10 years, will these games no longer be backwards compatible? That's the thing that you have to really think about. But yeah, that's just an example of it's not that simple. They have to work out all these the rights and what they're allowed, and it makes me wonder for example, how recently they re-released the GTA, trilogy, and of course it wasn't great, and Rockstar has apologized and saying they're going to do better. But anyways, before that, San Andreas was backwards compatible on the 360. On Xbox, Xbox One series, but in my case, I had an original Xbox San Andreas disc, but when you put it in, you don't play an original Xbox version. You play the 360 version. And of course, when you download it, you'll see that it's Xbox 360, meaning that if any of the music has changed, you're not getting the original, the original experience. Because, again, just with these, I know it's a tangent, but the trilogy remakes, it's a lot of the music isn't there, in Vice City when you're driving away, Billie Jean doesn't play, it's You get what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson doesn't play, and yeah, it's just. I guess that's what I find important about just game preservation is like preserving that original experience that as games get re-released, just rights and licensing like that really kills experiences. Because I do think in like the GTA series, like soundtracks are a big part of it. It's a big. I mean, not to get existential, but apparently when you're dying, the last sense to go is hearing. And yeah, it's like, in gaming, like audio design and that sort of thing is really important, not just soundtrack, but that sort of thing. Yeah, that's why this is a discussion. You see, it's all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just more concerned that with Xbox kind of pulling back on backwards compatibility, it's like, I mean, who else is really going to do it? I mean, think again, Nintendo, PlayStation, they don't do jack when it comes to that sort of thing. All the Sony fanboys, your PlayStation CEO, Joey Ryan, pretty much a Don Matrick Jr., he's been asked in the past, like, would they ever have considered, like, adding backwards compatibility to the PS5? Obviously, PS5 and Xbox Series could play the generation before PS4, Xbox One, respectively. But, he was asked, like, oh, even further, PS3, 2, 1. And he just straight up was like, yeah, nah, I'm not interested in that, like. And I don't know, again, game preservation, I think, is important. I mean, think you have like film, painting, art, like that sort of thing. Like those are like, oh, we gotta put them like be archived and that sort of thing. But when it comes to gaming, I don't know. I don't know why it isn't treated the same. Yeah, it's a younger medium. I mean, you could say gaming really started in the 70s, like Pong, like that, like 1970, maybe you could maybe say like 69, you know? So if you look at it, you're like, oh, that's only like 50 years, roughly, like a little over 50, And you compare it to film, which is over 100, or music, which goes back like, what, thousands of years? And you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know why it isn't treated more importantly, like to preserve. And I guess that's what's annoying is like, yeah, with film you have the issue of like rights and all that too, like Friday the 13th or that sort of thing, like getting a new box set that includes all the films, but Paramount owns the rights to the first 8 and then New Line owns like the rest. But all those things have to be worked out. But in film's case, films deemed important, whatnot, they get preserved. But with gaming, like emulation is a hot topic, right? Where people will say, oh, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I think emulation is good, for the industry and just to keep these experiences. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a gray area because, of course, pirating is a thing. And, you have to be, like, right, like, if it's a brand new game, like, let's say you take a Nintendo Switch game and then you rip the ROM and throw it on your PC, like, yeah, you're pirating, that's illegal. But, I mean, look, if it's a game like Earthbound, game that's, like, very expensive to get if you want the cartridge, and you want to be able to play it, but Nintendo will never re-release it on its own. It's like, I think in that case, like, what's the wrong? I mean, they are no longer, obviously that's like a 30-year-old game, like, they're no longer making money off of that, so where's the harm? And of course I say Nintendo because they mostly are aware how very Banhammer, they're very, like, you don't mess with their IPs, they'll come for your ass. You'll end up dead, suicide, 2 gunshots to the back of the head. Like, yeah, they don't play. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say that of just, like, I think it is important that, gaming companies, the big 3, should really just focus more on, or just give more attention to game preservation, or at least making these games available digitally. you know, because even backwards compatibility, like on Xbox or other consoles, you know, like in the past, they're not like 1-to-1. A lot of times it's just emulation. Like you put the disc in and you'll download a digital version that was made available, and basically it's emulating. And yeah, I mean, of course that's expected for like an original Xbox game, but I'm pretty sure like Xbox One and some 360, like they run native, you know, just off the disc, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, I just wanted to bring attention to, well, game preservation, emulation. I know I went on a couple tangents, but yeah, I mean, hey, that's why it's a discussion, right? Just want to get your thoughts on it. Like, how do you feel about game preservation, emulation, that sort of thing? I mean, I'm definitely, I care about it. I mean, admittedly on PC, they're doing, wonders. Like, those are the true, the heroes out there really doing the good, the Lord's work when it comes to that sort of thing, and like the emulators you got and all that. But yeah, I just like to see more of like Microsoft and them. I mean, they've said they're ending it, but I'm hopeful that, I don't know, maybe they just take a break and like in 3 years or something they start it back up. Or man, even if we have to wait this long, like the next console, the Xbox 5, right? Whatever they end up calling it, Xbox X cubed, that they, just take more of just get back into it. But yeah, guys, that was just my video. A little bit of a discussion. If you stayed this long, thank you. Truly appreciate it. And, I make new videos every Tuesdays and Saturdays. And please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And yeah, I mean, so this video comes out before Thanksgiving. Of course, my next one's Saturday, so past it. So, to all those that celebrate, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great time with your friends and family. And yeah, guys, just, take care and make sure you tell your, just enjoy your time with your loved ones. Life's too short. But as always, guys, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care.